Hare Krishna, how's it going? Hope you all are well. It's been some time, and if you're new here, I'm glad that you're here. So I just wanted to share some life experiences and like what's going on right now. So basically, you must be wondering why I left rigging. And as you all know, I was a rigging TD. I used to create tools and all, and I used to work on a lot of movies. But I'll be honest, and I'll get to the point. So if you know me, I really love to automate stuff, but there was not much left to automate in rigging. Almost all studios had nice modules and auto rigging pipelines and whatnot is there. Like we have all these tools which makes rigging so easy these days. If you take M gear or stuff like that, and these are all procedural now. Like most of the things, like I dipped into Bifrost a bit and it was so nice. It's so procedural. And then Houdini, obviously, Houdini means procedural, and everything was such nice. But like I was thinking I'm not growing enough. I'm not doing so much that I can. And somehow or the other, like I met some nice people who pulled me into pipeline. For some time I was only creating tools and all, but somehow or the other some nice people just pulled me into pipeline, and it was so nice that I'm really loving what I'm doing right now, because it's all about creating tools and working on so many DCCs, so many other, like so many projects at the same time, supporting a lot of people on what they want. And even like from the point of view of an artist, because I have been working as an artist for many years, maybe half a decade or more than that, and from their point of view I can understand what they are looking for. So I got a very nice opportunity and I took it, and I moved into pipeline last year. We can say like at the start of this year probably. So one thing which I want to share was AI is very important these days. AI is just taking leaps and bounds. It's revolutionizing our industry, not just our industry, all industries. Everyone is now dependent on AI on almost most of the technical stuff, because it just reduces so much of your time and gives you a lot of data and a lot of details very fast. I'm pretty sure that Googling and finding things was very nice, and we learned a lot from there. But I guess if we can learn the skill to learn from here and not just copy paste, then AI is a nice tool. If we don't um, like just take everything from it and try to learn from it, and try to learn from what it's giving us, automate our workflows, find errors and find loopholes where we used to lack sometime. These things, if we use AI for that, and we can probably focus more on planning and proceduralism and thinking about the architecture more, because one thing which AI cannot do is think. It cannot create an architecture for you. You probably think it can, but it's probably replicating something which it already has in the data. So this is one thing which we are able to focus on more rather than creating. More like a junior VFX, junior coding artist or something, but which knows the documentation well and knows how to write code well. But in terms of creating the workflows, I guess that's something which we can focus on now as a pipeline or rigging or any department you're on. You can focus on the workflow more, and then you can move forward, because this is something which is gonna revolutionize or like change our industry overall in the upcoming years. And pipeline is a very vast department, to be honest. Like when I was in rigging, I used to just think about modeling, animation, sometimes maybe crowd, and sometimes maybe for FX as well, like how they wanted the skinning and all for the sims and stuff like that. But pipeline is so wide that, like, let's say data comes from the client and you have to get it to the departments, and the data flows from one department to another, and there are different workflows and different data flows in different projects, and it's very wide. It's like you have to be very enthusiastic to learn it. And also very patient, because there's just so much in pipeline. One person to know all, it's very hard. And pipeline is just not pipeline. I just some like couple months back I understood that it's even the work of IT. Like maybe you don't have to do, but you have to understand how IT works, how permissions work, how so many things work, you know. So it can be complicated for us, because we, as an artist who comes from an artist background, it's a little tricky. We have not worked with these things ever, because we were thinking how this character will move. But when you think about how the character has moved and then has to be transferred to the departments, then it starts. Then it's a bit different than what you used to think. And it churns your mind basically. I think it's very nice. Every day there is a new challenge and you think this will work like that, and somehow or the other this format may not be working in that software probably. Now you have to think about the whole pipeline and everything from the ground up, and things like that happen, and you have to be a problem solver basically. A pipeline TD is a problem solver who has to solve the problems. That's the simplest way to put it. And I think anyone who is in this industry, visual effects industry, you should all become TDs. Like you all have to become TDs. You all have to become very masters, like teachers in your own departments. But for that, you all have to know coding. Every department needs Python or some other language which it supports, and you gotta make tools to automate your stuff. I know pipeline is for that, but when you do that, you understand the software more deeply, and that really helps. And I think AI is getting so far ahead and so fast. We really need to, get good with all these things. We have to see how we can progress. We have to see how we can integrate AI into visual effects, because if you know Comfy UI, if you've heard about it, it's just so nice. It's going very far, but it's just 2D side right now. We need all of this, and we'll get all of this. There's so many nice models, like LLM models for 3D generation, for model creation and all, but there are a lot of other departments as well, so this is all gonna come sooner or later. It's gonna come. So if you're updated, if you know Python, and if you know some other coding languages, then you can easily catch on to that as well, because learning Python is very easy these days. It's not hard. Just go to YouTube and freecodecamp.org, and you just learn Python from there. Whatever department, whatever work you do, try and integrate that in there. All these softwares, all the DCCs have Python. So that's a very important thing in this age. I think this age has came very fast. I never thought it will come. I always used to think everything, all these DCCs will shut down and only Houdini will work. But I see that Unreal is kind of doing that, but Houdini still is the master in FX. For big FX simulation, Houdini is the boss. But yeah, Unreal is nice. But we have to integrate AI in there as well. We have to reduce the frame generation time and everything. Like we have to think about all the departments, and whatever we are working on, somehow or the other, we have to reduce the work for us and use these computers and make these movies a bit better and faster. I feel like one thing which can develop very nicely and fast in the future is the corrections. The corrections of stuff, if we can reduce that using AI in the long term, that will be amazing, because that is something we create some shot or something using a lot of materials, lot of raw materials, 3D model, texture, this, that, lighting, effects, and if there's a correction and AI can help us do that, that will be so amazing. So I guess that's what I wanted to talk about. Seeing all this AI going on everywhere, people training local models and then using ChatGPT and all. ChatGPT is so basic, I'll tell you. Like people have integrated it in all these softwares like Houdini, Maya, but they're not so I don't know, like I don't have the right words, but they're not so nice. I think they're very limited. But if you see the latest Maya with the animation creation, it's a start. It's a great start, I guess. Someday, not right now, maybe in a year or two, maybe a little more than that, we'll have a very nice animation this thing, and it will reduce a lot of animation artists. But if you are really good with AI, and if you know how to control that and get nice output, then it works in your favor. Because we all have to accept AI is coming, and it has come, and it is the future of all industries, not just coding and like software engineering, it's also VFX. So I guess that's the main point I wanted to emphasize on. And I'm just reading from my notes here. There's a lot of things I spoke which just came to me. I didn't write it in my notes, but yeah. So I am actually going to start a series explaining how visual effect pipelines work. And if you're thinking of creating a visual effect pipeline from the ground up, then this series will explain how you can basically create a good VFX pipeline from experienced people, taking examples of different studios, how they have created amazing pipelines and how things have worked for them. Some studios, even like not some, lot of studios have created their own softwares because the current software didn't support their needs, and the same software supported needs for the other ones, for the same thing the other ones were doing. So it just depends on people to people. To have a vast area of knowledge is very good in these days.